I'd like to tell you a story that I first heard told by Tala, who is a young teenage girl from Gaza, and then I heard it retold by David Heathfield. So this is my retelling of the telling and retelling. And it's all about Ashab. And Ashab is a character who appears in Arabic literature and folklore, and he spends most of his life suffering at the hands of others, but in the end he succeeds. And this is one of those stories. So Ashab was a poor farmer, and Ashab realised that he was running short of money, and by running short of money it meant he didn't have enough money to buy food, and so he told his wife he was going to have to do something. So he thought, well, what am I going to do? I've got a horse and I've got a cow. I could sell one or the other. The horse, nay, so not the horse. And then the cow. Now I could sell the cow because I need the horse to pull stuff around it. So I will sell the cow. So he decided that he was going to take the cow off to market. So he told his wife he was going, put a rope around the cow's neck, and off he walked towards the market. Part way to the market, he met three friends. I say three friends, they weren't friends of his, they were friends of each other, and their game was to play tricks on people. And friend number one said to him, Ashab, where are you going? Well, he said, I'm going to the market to sell my cow because I need money to buy food. But Ashab, he said, you can't go to the market with a cow like that. I've been to the market recently, and I heard that the merchants in particular are looking out for cows with no tails. Really, said Ashab, no tails? Oh, in which case I think I know what to do. And he took a knife out of his belt and he went to the back of the cow and cut off the tail. And off he went. And as he was going down the street, he was dreaming to himself, oh, think of all the money I can now get because I've got a cow with no tail. And then he met the second friend. And the second friend said, Ashab, where are you going? Well, I'm going to the market to sell the cow because I need some money to buy food. But Ashab, he said, I've been to the market and I've been talking to the merchants, and the merchants, they're particularly looking for cows with no horns. Really? Said Ashab, no horns? Oh yes, you'll get much better value for a cow with no... So out came the knife again. Took off one horn, took off the other horn, and he thought to himself, now I'm going to make some money. And as he walked down the road again, he was dreaming to himself, oh, I'm going to make so much money. And then he bumped into friend three. And the third friend said, well, Ashab, where are you going? Well, I'm going to the market to sell my cow. Look, it's got no tail and no horns, so I'm going to get a lot of money back. Ashab. No, you've got it wrong. I went to the market, and particularly the merchants now are looking for cows with no ears. Oh. And he thought about it for a moment, and he thought, no, that's it. And out came the knife, and off came the ears. And he carried on into town. The three friends, when they'd seen him go, they all got together and they huddled together and they started laughing. Poor old Ashab, he's going to get no money at all for his cow. And when Ashab did get to the market, the traders looked at this cow with no tail, no horns, no ears, and said, Ashab, what are you trying to sell us? Well, I thought it was going to be the one. No, Ashab. But one trader took pity on him and gave him a dinar. So he took the dinar and he went back home and he had to tell his wife. Yes, so he had to tell his wife, and his wife was not so much forgiving as sad, because poor old Ashab, he'd been tricked yet again. And Ashab said, well, what are we going to eat? And she said, well, you did catch 2 rabbits earlier. We could have those, but oh, wait a minute. And she handed one of the rabbits to Ashab, and then she said, I've got an idea. And she went up to him and started whispering in his ear. And whisper. Oh, right, he said. I'll do that. And he took the rabbit and off he went. And he walked and walked and walked, because people do in stories 3 times walking. And eventually he saw the friends, and he said to the friends, "Oh, thank you so much. I did so well with the market. Thank you." And they looked a bit puzzled as to why he was so pleased. He said, I want to thank you for being so kind. Why don't you come round, and my wife will prepare a wonderful meal for you. Would you come? Well, yes, they said, of course we will. I'll just send the rabbit. So he got the rabbit, and he whispered in the rabbit's ear, "Go back to my wife and tell her to make soup. Is it soup you'd like? Because she makes really good soup. Go make some soup, and we'll be coming along shortly, but make some nice soup." And then he put the rabbit down, and off it ran. The 3 friends looked at each other and looked at Ashab and said, "Oh, no, it's all right," said Ashab. "She'll get the message and make the soup, but it'll take a little time. Why don't we go to the cafe? And I've got some money, and I'll buy you a coffee, and we can sit and have a chat. And then when we've had the coffee, we can go off, and the soup will be ready." "Right," said the friends, a bit puzzled still. Anyway, they had the coffee, and off they walked. And as they approached Ashab's house, they go, oh, the smell was wafting through the breeze. And it looked lovely. And they opened the door, and there was Ashab's wife with a rabbit in her hand, saying, "Oh, welcome. I knew you were coming. The rabbit told me, and I've made some lovely soup." And they saw the soup, and they saw the rabbit. And of course, the 3 friends then weren't particularly interested in the soup. They were mostly interested in the rabbit. "Ashab, would you be interested in selling the rabbit?" "Well, no," said Ashab. I'm not really interested in selling the rabbit. How about 30 dinars, said the first one. 31, said the second. 32, said the third. And Ashab thought for a moment and then said, "I'll tell you what. If all 3 of you give me 33 dinar, I'll let you have it collectively, and then you can share it amongst yourselves." And if I was David Heathfield, at this point, I would say, I'm going to check and see if you've been listening. How many dinars did he get?
90. 33.
99. We've got some mathematicians, thank goodness for that. 99 dinars. Now, the 3 friends actually didn't hang about for the soup. They were off out of the door. They were squabbling amongst themselves as to who was going to have the rabbit first to use it. Ashab was quite happy. He was sitting at home having the soup. And the 3 friends squabbled until eventually one of them decided, well, okay, I'll be the one to have it, and to celebrate, I'm going to send the rabbit to my wife, and she's going to produce a wonderful meal. Mutton with some couscous and some dates and some olives and some nice gravy. And they thought, oh, that'll be lovely, a way to celebrate. Think of all the money we can make now we've got this talking rabbit. So he told the rabbit what exactly they wanted, and they put it on the ground, and off it ran. And they knew they'd have to wait a while because they wanted her to produce a good meal, so they went to the cafe again. They sat and they had another coffee, and then off they went. And they went to the first friend's house. There was no smell. So they opened the door, and there was his wife. "What are you doing?" "Well, we've come for the meal." "But what meal?" "Well, didn't the rabbit come and tell you?" "Rabbit? What rabbit?" And then they realised, and they told the wife what had happened. And she said, "Oh, you fools, you thought you'd made a fool of Ashab. He's made a right fool of you." And Ashab at that time had got now 99, because we've established that, dinar, and he could buy not one cow but many cows. And then by the time that they bred it for a while, he had a whole herd of cows. So you see, although Ashab was a bit simple, he listened to the wisdom of his wife. So, shukran.
Yeah. Tala is a powerhouse.
Isn't she
Storyteller.
just, blimey.
Absolutely extraordinary.
And I'm Tala, I'm terribly sorry if this bit gets to you, but I did actually mimic some of your gestures, which I thought were wonderful.